Imagine you getting abandoned by your mother, who is dealing with her own childhood trauma. She lives a busy life as an exotic dancer while doing drugs to cope with her own trauma. But she leaves you with a pedophile and a known abuser she was once married to. You live with this man for 18 years thinking he's your father, all while going through the unimaginable. You grow up, and it's time for you now to go off to college. School was always pushed, and it was hard trying to manage all of that while also being abused and also looking after your younger siblings. But somehow you made it through. You didn't want to leave them behind to experience more abuse while you were off in college. So you decided to go to the police. He was arrested and later sentenced to 25 years for sexual assault. Oh, yeah, did I mention that he was also a pastor in the community? Woo, child. This story is wild, but you went to college and you graduated. This has been a little story time mixed in with a prophetic message from a dream that I had last night. The previous story that I just, um, I guess, read, if you will, is based on very true events to a company that I had a dream last night, which was a little weird. And if y'all do hear some jingling in the background, that's my cat playing with her toy. But I had a dream last night that I was in the basement, and there was also another man and a woman in the basement. And the woman that was in the basement, she was talking to the guy about a fight or an accident that she had got involved in. I can't remember which it was, but it was his job to basically provide consultations to people, and based upon whatever traumatic situation, physical altercation, he would tell them like how much money they could get paid for it. So she was explaining to the man, and I was overhearing all of this. She was like, "Yeah, I went through such and such." Like I said, I can't quite recall if it was a car accident or a physical altercation. I want to kind of say a physical altercation because that's what it was kind of giving. Um, with her demeanor, you know how she was looking in the dream. But I do recall him saying he was like, "Yeah, you can get $147 per child." Um, and I was like, "Oh." That intrigued me further. And then I woke up from the dream, obviously, and I was like, that's hella random. Like, where did that come from? And as I was just thinking about the dream, because I try to take something or look at symbolism, the spiritual meanings of dreams, and trying to decode messages that I need to receive from these experiences, because I just don't consider anything a coincidence. And I was just hearing, you're about to get paid for your pain. You are about to get paid for your pain. A lot of people, um, and I'll say exploitation is big these days. Anything that you can exploit, whether it be in a negative or even a positive light, people will say and do anything, for a coin. And although exploitation is very real, this is something just a little bit different. What I've been hearing very loudly is you are going to get paid for your pain. You are going to profit off of your pain. Pain meaning different experiences you had, specifically in childhood, that you had no control over. However, they shook up your world. They changed your life. Um, you may have even been put on a certain path because of these experiences. And you are now in the season of reparation. You are now in a season of God giving you justice in form of a payment, in form of abundance and money for the things that you have experienced and gone through. Now you may be curious and say, now, Jaquel, is this going to come in the form of a check? I don't know what God has in store for you, um, or myself specifically, but like I said, I just feel this in my spirit in terms of the things that you've endured and gone through. You are about to get paid and you're about to get paid for your pain. What else is coming through? So you'll know if this message is for you or not. Growing up, I watched a lot of Tyler Perry movies. Now, I'm not going to speak too much on who Tyler Perry is currently. I know there's a lot of talk about the Illuminati, him selling his soul. Other artists and also actors and actresses have had something to say in regards to the types of movies that he produces and how it depicts so much trauma within the Black community, and how he does this, not only well, to get money, but they speak about it in terms of him selling his soul and just painting the Black community, not in the best light. And although that might be true, the other truth to it is the things that he's depicting is truth as well, being addiction, being trauma, being just variations in human society based on socioeconomic status. And this isn't for every character that he's had in movies, but that has been prevalent in the movies that he's producing, also the plays that he has as well. Now, for me, growing up seeing these plays and seeing um, real life being depicted in art, and they cover sexual abuse in the family. This was a breath of fresh air. This was the breath that I needed. This was the push that I needed, the inspiration, motivation, the the boost of confidence that I needed at the time to withstand the um, abuse that I was experiencing. So, people can have a lot to say, but unless you were in somebody's shoes and you have gone through that particular experience, you can't really say how somebody else should feel about a certain thing. And also, what movies as such can do for the soul of a child or a teenager or even an adult that has unhealed trauma. But I think about Tyler Perry's story as well. If y'all don't know his backstory, go check it out because I don't want to use this video to talk about that. But him and just overall him using his childhood experiences, experiences with sexual abuse and physical abuse, and monetizing that to the umpteenth degree. You know, so selling his soul or not, like I said, that's his business. But from an entrepreneur, a creative standpoint, somebody that's made the most out of his life, hats off goes. I take my hats off to him. So whether it be somebody recognizing you for your talents, skills, attributes, whether you come out with your own tell-all book and you're writing something, poetry book, whether you start a business or a nonprofit, turning your pain into profit that way, whether you get featured in a magazine or article, whether somebody decides to just invest in you because they know the money will go a long way, considering how you have turned lemons into more than lemonade. You are going to be paid for your pain exponentially. Um, And it's coming real soon. Like if you tapped in, you can feel a shift in the energy this year, the year of 9, year for endings. But when something ends, something begins as well. This year is not only big in terms of you getting justice, reparations, and you getting paid for those experiences that you feel have wiped you, and I'm hearing wiped you clean, but you are really tuning into your inner child. Your inner child is getting justice. Your inner child is getting peace for once. Your inner child is integrating with the other parts of you. Your inner child is getting the happiness that they longed for growing up, and also safety. So you heard it here first. I'm looking forward to hearing all of the stories. I'm looking forward to seeing the comments below. If you are tapped in now and you've already been feeling this, like either your life, getting made into a movie. Like I said, you writing your first book, any creative endeavor that God has impressed upon your heart, get that shit done ASAP. If you are still tuned into this message, thank you all so much for your continued support. If you haven't already, go ahead and like this. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel for more. And with that being said, I'm out. Peace.